what my initial sense is that I would put this channel out and those who were meant to see it would connect with it. And so on some level, I know that the people who are connecting with it also feel this pull for something deeper, for something more meaningful, that goes beyond the superficial layer of performance that we've been existing in. And to me, that death of an old way of living is exactly the freedom that we've been looking for. Because there's nothing to hold back. Just being present, being mindful, being authentic, connecting. What else is there? One thing I have thought about a lot during this spiritual journey, and have had dreams about and wrote about, because it had such a profound effect on how I viewed my experience, was, how do we know that we're not dead already? How do we know? A spiritual journey is all about death and rebirth, transcendence. And during that process of transcendence and moving through a spiritual journey, it requires so many things that reflect similarities of what has been identified and connected with experiences of people who've either had near-death experiences or paranormal experiences, or people who are connected with spirits. And that is periods of isolation. It is that initial sense, even before the period of isolation, it's the sense that you can't do it anymore. Something just suddenly shifts. Something just snaps, switches off, where you just have a moment, a pivotal moment that says no more. And you awaken, and suddenly you see things totally different. Time no longer matters. All the things that were once a priority that you worked so hard for and you prioritized no longer matter. You go into isolation. A lot of people just fall away because they don't make sense to you anymore. You don't hold the same values, the same beliefs. They are frustrating to you because they're continuing to do the thing that maybe you used to do that you no longer connect with. you get less and less phone calls the more and more you awaken. You feel incredibly alone, and the silence is deafening. You begin to wonder if you even exist anymore, because nothing that you once really believed in, trusted, had faith in, even is in your periphery. And sometimes it's just disgusting to you. It repulses you that you ever worked so hard for something or gave so much of your life force to it. And this disconnected state where your interaction with the world is halted. Somewhat like we know death to be, a physical death, where it could be a slow process, like in so many of our spiritual journeys, where it's a slow process to awakening, and the death still occurs, the death of self, of the ego self, that isn't fighting for things in the same way anymore and doesn't identify with who we believed ourselves to be anymore. We're not afraid of death any longer. We aren't chasing material things. They don't hold any weight. They don't hold any value. And even when we speak, we feel like people aren't even hearing us. No one's asking about how we are doing on this journey, because it's, for so many, beyond their scope of comprehension. So the isolation continues, which makes you, again, question. There's no one to mirror back your projection, your existence. And in so many cases, when people pass away, it's common for spirits to not know where they are, to continue with their daily routine, continue to go about their day almost on a treadmill, just a Groundhog Day, repeating it over and over. The lack of connection with people and not having people hear them, and becoming more and more frustrated that people aren't hearing them. They're not acknowledging them. They are finding themselves to be more and more alone and confused and lost. And time doesn't exist. There's so many more things that are similar between a physical death and a transcendent experience. And what I find myself questioning is, in this physical life, if we want to talk about it like that, there's so many things that stop us from doing whatever it is, making a move, taking a chance, for fear of either looking ridiculous or being judged in some way, same thing, being rejected, neglected, isolated, all this stuff. But when you're on a spiritual journey and you've already gone through it all, it doesn't matter anymore. So if you're there, what's stopping you from doing the thing? There's nothing that is in your way. It is open, free, and clear for you to do whatever it is that is pulling you or possibly pushing you to do. So do it. Stop waiting and do it. Believe in yourself. Give yourself that opportunity to experience it, to experience the relief of having checked it off some internal list that's telling you that this is the way. And trust that whatever step that is that moves you and takes you in that direction is a new perspective again, where you can grow from there. Put your phones down and start looking up. Oh, and a siren. Wow. Everything is just carrying. The sound is carrying. Amazing. Thanks for watching, everyone. And for sharing, subscribing. I love the commenting. So until next time, stay safe, stay connected, and we'll see you really soon.